Besides my dialect, I speak 4 languages: English, French, Japanese, and my native language, Chinese Mandarin. At a certain point in language learning, I stopped translating. I start thinking directly in the logic of that language. But I noticed something strange. Different languages give me different brains. What do I mean? Let me show you a concrete example. Same idea, same situation. I missed the bus and I was late. How does English say it? How does French say it? How about Chinese and Japanese? It's not just a translation difference. The logical order is completely different. First, when it comes to facts and opinions, I have noticed that English and French often put the fact first and the interpretation after, while Chinese and Japanese often do the opposite, the interpretation first and then the fact. For example, the same sentence in English is, I am late because I missed the bus. Then in French is, Je suis en retard parce que j'ai raté le bus. And then in Chinese, 我没有赶上公交，所以我来晚了。In Japanese, バスに間に合わなかったので遅れました。Here, I'm not translating word for word. I'm looking at the natural speaking logic people use in daily life. Now let's look at another case. English, I got up at 6 a.m. this morning. And then in French, je me suis levé à 6 heures ce matin. And then in Chinese, 我今天早上6点起床。And Japanese is, 今朝6時に起きました。And if we make it a little more complex, English sentence, I ate at the restaurant downstairs at 9 last night. In French, j'ai dîné au restaurant en bas hier soir avant de 1 heure. In Chinese, 我昨天晚上9点在楼下餐馆吃饭。In Japanese, 昨日の夜9時に下のレストランで食べました。In English and French, first there is me, and then there is what I did. That is the central fact. Time and place are there too, of course, but they come later. They are more like surrounding conditions, external details. What matters first is me and my action. And if I take that a little further, this reflects individualism quite well. First there is the self, and then there is everything else. I come first, and the rest of the world is added around me. On the other hand, in Chinese and Japanese, time and place often comes first. That means environment comes first. My situation comes first. My relationship to the world comes first. The constraints of time and space are established first. And only then do I place myself inside them. It is almost as if I need to explain the background before I explain myself. Otherwise, the other person may misunderstand me. So first comes the context, and then comes me. And to me, that reflects collectivism very clearly. First there is everything else, and then there is the self. The world is already there before I speak of myself. I must first take the surrounding reality into account and then talk about what I did. So if you are learning Chinese or Japanese, this probably can help. When you build a sentence, start with the environmental factors first, time and then space. And Japanese goes one step further than Chinese because in Japanese, the action, which means the verb, often comes at the end. I mentioned in a previous video that I think this shows a kind of patience. The listener has to wait until the entire sentence is finished before knowing what action the speaker did or did not do. And when I think about Japanese craftsmanship and the patience people often associate with Japanese systems and machines, I cannot help connecting those things in my mind. On the other hand, if you are Chinese or Japanese and you want to speak English or French more naturally, then you often need to do the opposite. You need to move the background toward the end and put yourself and your action first. And the same pattern appears again in modifiers. relative clauses and descriptive structures. In Chinese and Japanese, the modifier usually comes before the noun. And I think this still follows the same logic. The interpretation comes first and the fact comes after. For example, in Japanese, we could say like this. 昨日あなたが行ったあのラーメン屋は今日のお昼は閉まっています。In Chinese is 你昨天去过的那个面馆今天中午关门。But in English and French, the noun comes first, and then the description follows. Again, the fact comes first. First, there is the thing itself, and only then comes the explanation or qualification. In English, it's the noodle shop you went to yesterday is closed at lunchtime today. And then in French, le restaurant de nouilles où tu es allé hier est fermé ce midi. Now let's practice this situation in Chinese phrase together. I will give you 10 seconds for thinking. So we see the answer is subject, time, space, and action. 我9月要在加利福尼亚和我的大学同学结婚。Here, 要 emphasize the future tense. I'm getting married to my college classmates this September in California. Did you get it? There are just some simple thoughts I wanted to share. Maybe there are mistakes in what I said. Maybe there are things I have overlooked. But maybe there is also something true in it. So feel free to leave a comment and share what you think. I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.